Hey, I'm Stealth. Today I'm going to be breaking down how to actually play Magic, the mistakes that hold you back, and the exact reasons you might not be succeeding on her, even if you think your mechanics are fine. For those who do not know me, my name is Stealth. I picked Eternity Mating Magic and I put over 150 hours into her alone. In the past, I made a Dark Child guide and a Magic guide, but those are super outdated and I've learned so many new things and updated strategies that I have to remake them into one definitive guide. Magik is one of the most fun characters in Marvel Rivals, but she's also one of the easiest to completely fail on if you do not understand what you're doing and or why you're losing. Today, I'm going to be explaining probably why you fail on Magik, how to improve, her kit, her combos, and playstyles, and whatever else comes to mind. This guide is probably the best and the definitive guide for all new Magik players. If I missed anything, or you have a question or opinion, feel free to comment in the comment section of this video and I will respond. For starters, let's talk about why you most likely don't succeed on Magik. Now, I've seen a handful of Magics in my life, and one of the most common mistakes I see them make is burning all of their cooldowns. The biggest tip I can give you right now is don't burn all your cooldowns on Magik, especially your stepping disc, but I'll explain why later. Now, one of the most common misunderstandings on newer Magic players is that they might not properly understand their role. Yes, you are a DPS, but you should not be brawling with someone like a tank in the front line. She does not have that kind of survivability. Magik is a dive. You should be flanking and or punishing badly positioned squishies like supports or lower HP targets. You should only be fighting the tank as cleanup when they're low on HP and you took out their backline, or if your team is having problems with damage and space and prevents you from getting a good dive or from capturing objective. You can fight them to push them back a little bit to give your tanks the opportunity to walk and give yourself a good flank. Let's talk about Magik's kit. In this section, I'll explain Magik's moves and abilities and give a description of how it should or shouldn't be used. After, I'll do the same but with her ult. The length of the description will depend on the move. Oh, and FYI, I have already made a Magik guide in the past, so a couple things will be similar. Only thing is now I will be adding something I learned about the ability that can help you properly use it at its best. To start off with Magik's passive, Limbo's Might. Magik's passive converts 30% of damage dealt to enemies into bonus health for herself, maxing out at 150 extra overshield. Outside of her ultimate, this passive is what allows Magik to survive while diving and committing to fights instead of instantly dying. This is also where a lot of players misunderstand her kit and end up feeding because they think the healing means they can frontline and brawl. Now during Dark Child, this passive becomes significantly more important because they're constantly dealing damage to multiple targets in your ultimate. Limbo's Might allows you to sustain far longer than usual if you play it correctly. If you're hitting enemies consistently, you shouldn't die immediately, at least not as fast as you normally would. The reason why this works is because the more damage you do, the more you'll survive. You can be low on HP, but continue to do damage, and your passive will keep you alive, allowing you to continue to rampage on their team a little longer, or to give you a little more wiggle room to make your getaway. Next is Magik's primary, Soul Sword. Magik slashes her sword, dealing 75 damage. This is your main tool when playing Magik. It's the key of all your combos. Your primary is what finishes kills and keeps your sustain going through your passive. Along with that, Magik's melee attack does 40 damage and is one of the most important tools in her kit. Properly using your melee into your combo is essential to playing Magik effectively. Remember this, it will be important later. During Dark Child, Soul Sword changes slightly. Instead of a single hit, Magik slashes her sword once but hits 3 times at a 0.15 second interval, which each hit dealing 35 damage. If all 3 hits connect, that's 105 damage total. This makes your primary extremely strong in one-on-one fights and maybe one-on-two fights depending on your current situation, especially against squishies. Magik Slash is a piercing projectile based ability that deals between 45 and 90 damage depending on how long you charge it, with a maximum charge time of 2 seconds. For maximum damage, you only need to charge it for about 1.2 seconds. Hitting multiple targets with this ability can reduce the cooldown of Stepping Disc by 1 second per target hit, and it pierces through enemies. This move can be used as either a combo starter or finisher. A full charge is usually best when engaging from a distance to heavily damaged squishies instead of for combo, and the short 45 damage slash is best used as a finisher or to add extra damage against higher health heroes, or even to simply animation cancel. I'll explain combos and animation cancels later. You can also slightly overcharge it if you need a bit more damage to secure a kill. During Dark Child, Magic Slash does 90 to 180 damage depending on how much you charge. For max damage, you need to charge it for 1.8 seconds instead of 1.2, and it can be charged for a maximum of 2 seconds. This ability is great at one-shotting squishies when comboed with the dash, and it will be used as a combo starter or finisher just like Magic. Stepping Discs are Magic's most important ability. They enable the majority of her combos and significantly increase her survivability. When Magik uses Stepping Disc, she jumps through a portal and teleports a short distance in her movement direction, becoming invincible during the teleport. This ability is your main combo starter because once you exit the portal, you can choose between one of two abilities, the Spin or the Demon. If you pick Eldritch Whirl, or the Spin as I will call it, Magik spins her Soul Sword, dealing 50 damage. This move is used as both a combo starter and a finisher, but only in specific situations. One of the biggest indicators of a good and a bad Magic player is how often they use the Spin. Newer or less experienced Magic players tend to spam it in every fight, while experienced Magic players rarely ever use it except for 1 or 2 combos. Demon's Rage is, in my opinion, Magic's most underrated tools in her kit. This ability is the key for combos, survivability, and destroying environmental objects and summons such as Penny Nest, Rocket Amp, Loki clones, and much more. When exiting a Stepping Disc and choosing Demon's Rage, Magik summons a Limbo Demon that attacks nearby enemies, dealing 20 damage per hit. The value that the demon brings is crazy when used correctly. This ability is a core part of Magic's kit and a key factor in mastering her playstyle. During Darkchild, these moves don't change other than the lower cooldowns, the demons doing 25 instead of 20 damage, and the Spin now attacking like the primary, doing 3 hits of damage at a 0.25 second interval and doing 45 damage. The role of the moves you pick are switched. During Darkchild, instead of primarily picking the demon and rarely using the Spin, you would primarily pick the Spin and use the demon in certain situations. This is because the amount of damage you output on the enemy team, usually when you use Darkchild, you end up in a group of people, and instead of the singular target priority, you'd use your Spin and do damage to everyone and maximize your chances of living and winning a team fight. Something you really want to keep in mind when playing Magic. Next is Magic's Dash. This ability goes hand in hand as the best ability in her kit, along with the Stepping Disc. The dash dashes Magic forward, and if it connects with an enemy, it launches both Magic and the target into the air while dealing 85 damage. This ability is mainly used for combos, but it can also function as an escape tool when situations get overwhelming. Only difference during Darkchild is the distance in which you dash and the launch up. Instead of launching you and the enemy up, it's only the enemy. Also, the damage is increased from 85 to 140. In this part of the video, I explain the struggles of hitting Magic's dashes, and I give you tips to help fix it. But in Season 7, Magic got a buff to where now her hit range is larger. So this part of the video may be more relevant, but if it still applies to you, then feel free to stay. If you're struggling to land Magic's dash, it's important to understand that the dash is not aimed using your crosshair, it's based on Magic's hitbox. One way to help with consistency is to remove your crosshair so you focus entirely on Magic's positioning. I did this in the past and I would personally like to think it helped. But if you prefer to keep your crosshair, or you do not notice a difference, try to focus not in the middle of the crosshair, but on Magic's left shoulder. Finally, we have Magic's team-up ability, Chain of Chitarak. When there is a Doctor Strange on your team, then Magic is given this ability. This ability links 2 enemies together and slows them, the slow becoming stronger the farther apart the targets are. Chain of Chitarak is excellent for setting up combos and is especially useful for peeling for supports, assuming your supports are getting dove by 2 people, diving enemy backlines, and forcing enemies into uncomfortable positions. To start off with the habit/animation council I want you to get into. To do this. Primary Melee. This is Magic's animation council and is used for all of her combos and is best for that little bit of damage you're looking for. If you can't consistently get the timings well, you can count 1-2, 1-2. That should help. Next is a simple combo. It goes Primary Melee / Primary Melee. This combo does enough damage to kill any 275 HP hero and is easy to learn, mainly because it doesn't require a dash. An extension to that combo is Primary Melee / Primary Melee - Primary Melee. This combo does 475 damage and is super strong beginner combo to build some of your mechanics. A version of this combo is primary melee dash primary melee. This does 315 damage with the extension adding slash primary melee. This combo does the same amount of damage, being 475. The most classic combo you'll see Magik do is portal spin dash primary melee, with the extension adding slash primary melee. Now one thing I'll mention is whenever I say spin dash, I mean use your dash as soon as you see Magik start spinning, so you technically cancel the stun lock Magik is when spinning. Another thing you'll see newer Magiks do when they don't know this combo is come out the portal, spin, and after, or at the end of the animation, they'll dash. Doing this isn't bad, but it makes you predictable, so practice your timings. Next is, in my opinion, Magik's best combo. This combo goes portal, demon, primary, melee, dash. This combo explodes any squishy, and while not difficult to learn, it takes time in terms of mechanical skill and proper positioning to land the move. The reason why I mention this combo is because it helps improve your mechanical skill, and you can be mechanically lacking in a video game, and that's okay. If you want to build your mechanics, a great way to do that is, well, to practice your mechanics, hence this combo. The extension of this combo is to add a primary melee slash primary melee. Next is not a hard combo, but a challenging one. First, you do a full charge slash, then dash primary melee. But if you have trouble hitting the dash, then do a full charge Magik slash, portal spin dash primary melee. This combo does a bit more damage as well, as going through the portal giving you more time to adjust your dash positioning. A slightly different version of this combo is full charge Magik slash, primary melee dash, with the extension adding a primary melee. Last combo is a combo with more freedom, and it's any combo with the demon. The demon is great at dealing damage when positioned. I can't stress this enough about the importance of demon over the spin. The demon does passive damage, and when Magik isolates a target or positions herself perfectly and uses demons in combos, it can shred anyone that dares get close to her. You can also pair just about any of these combos with the team up. For example, chain together two supports or a squishy with a tank. They would be in a situation they would otherwise not be in, giving you the upper hand. Next, combos for Darkchild. These combos are, in my opinion, easier since it's one thing primarily. Spin like crazy and get a wipe. Kidding, kinda. When you ult as Darkchild, believe it or not, but your most important action is your engagement. The way you engage with the enemy team matters a lot, as it determines how they will retaliate. The two most common ways to engage in your ult is number 1, do a full charge slash. This usually gets followed up with a dash and has the ability to one-shot just about any squishy, with a few exceptions, mainly being in support ults. You're going to need some sort of extra damage, preferably from your team. This is another reason why coming with your team is good. Another way to engage with your ult is to jump in with aggression and open up with a portal spin dash. That usually one-taps and catches your target by surprise. Your go-to combo would be portal, spin, and if you notice a target is low, then primary slash. If not, continue portal spin. If your portal's on cooldown, then primary to keep yourself up, then keep going with the spin. One more thing, I haven't mentioned the demons in a single combo in Darkchild. The reason for this is a demon is kind of a waste, depending on your current situation. It may be more optimal to use the demons over the spin if you're in a group of enemies and they're all focusing you. They know you will terrorize them if they don't kill you, so to block some of the damage, you use some demons. And a demon has a hitbox of its own, and it does damage, giving you more HP. That's just an example though. It really depends on the situation. I'll explain better during the playstyle section. Almost done. Now let's talk about how you should actually play Magik. As stated at the beginning, Magik is a dive character with the ability to brawl. She's primarily a flanker. When playing a dive character, one of the key things you should be doing is keeping good track of the enemy team, their positions, their cooldowns, even their ultimates. The reason for this is when on the dive, most of the time when you go for squishies, you pay attention to when they get out of position or out of an important cooldown. For example, Mantis using your sleep. Now said, Mantis is much easier to kill than a few moments ago, now that she's missing her important cooldown. But when diving, do not dive with the intention to kill. Don't get me wrong, it's your goal as a DPS, is to get kills. But when diving, you're diving with the intention to force out important enemy cooldowns, like Loki runes, Luna's clapping ability, Bucky, or distract one or more people so your team can have the advantage and take space and then kills. What's most important is to capture the objective, because do not forget, this is an objective team-based hero shooter. Anyways though, when playing Magic, you capitalize on the enemy team's mistakes and the opportunities when available as well, and of course flank, and get squishies or punish their flanks. When in Dark Child, you're going to be more involved with your gameplay, as instead of taking on one, maybe two people, you'll be taking on most, if not the entire team. One thing is, when you use Dark Child in a bad way, you will probably blow up, whether you're trying to 1v6 or you just not using your cooldowns to your advantage. To solve for this, make sure you're always either communicating with your team, or if you don't want to do that, always have good awareness on your team's positions and make custom quick chats to signal your team to push with you and your ult. Finally, how to make sure you don't consistently feed on Magik/Dark Child. One way to do this is to properly time your dives. What I mean by this is, even if you flank and you see a support that is out of position, it's not smart to rush a decision and attempt to kill them, as it may result in you trading a kill, and it's not worth to trade your life for theirs, as it may be pointless. Now, I'm going to be talking about how to not feed while on Magic. For starters, the easiest way to not feed is to make sure you don't dive without your cooldowns, especially your dash. As I mentioned at the start, burning all your cooldowns on Magic is not ideal, because you want to use your cooldowns in a smart way that maximizes your damage to cooldown usage. For example, if you're in an area that has a free kill, instead of using a full combo with a slash and a spin dash, it could probably be saved by just using a dash or a demon. What I'm trying to say is to practice your game awareness so you can make the correct assessment for how you should approach to save as many cooldowns as possible. If you have no idea how to improve your game awareness, just play the game. Try to understand what's happening, how your team is playing, same for the enemy team. Try to pay attention to finer details. But in all honesty, game awareness, game sense, game knowledge all take time to fully master, and it is not something that can happen overnight. I would yap more about this, but I'm going to save it for another video. Subscribe to stay tuned. But unfortunately, game sense takes time. You build it through experience, not this guide. I'm going to briefly talk about whatever else I can think about, starting with matchups. Here's a quick tier list I made showing how Magic fares against others. Now, I did speedrun this, and it's my opinion and in my experience, and most of these are very situational and can be changed, but will give you an idea on how it would go if you 1v1 the character. Also, before diving, quickly double check your cooldowns and make sure you have enough to either force a cooldown or get a kill, plus having a getaway, i.e. at least one portal, and make sure that your dive will be beneficial for your team. Lastly, your communication. As previously mentioned, communicating with your team is very important when playing dive, as it helps you get actual value. But if you don't like communicating with your team, you can use the custom quick chat option in your settings and make something that helps you communicate your dive with your team. Here's what I have right now. But in sum, just make sure you have a way to tell your team when you ult, when you force an important cooldown, like for example, no key, no runes, and tell them when you need pressure to get a real dive. Space is important when playing dive, because if no space is there, then you diving would make you blow up and feed, as you're in the enemy team's territory, and you want to make it ours, not just theirs. Whatever else you think of that you feel you should communicate with your team, just do it. Anything that really helps the team instead of nothing. To conclude, Magik is a dive character with the ability to brawl. To learn this character, you need to have good awareness, smart cooldown management, and most importantly, mechanics. As a dive DPS like Magik, your main objective should be to force cooldowns, punish mispositioned squishies, and of course, getting kills. To prevent feeding, keep a good mind of the enemy team's positions and abilities, time your dives with your team, save your cooldowns for maximum value, and avoid overcommitting for free kills. Your success also depends on your team coordination and communication. Communication is great and key for any dive, as it allows you to call your ult, signal when the enemy team uses an important cooldown, and make sure your dive actually makes sense and benefits your team, etc. In sum, Magik rewards players who combine precise timing, awareness, and patience with their aggressive tools. So that's my definitive Magic guide. I hope the guide helps you play Magic to your limitless potential. If any questions, concerns, or comments, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm trying to do more scripted content, and if that interests you, then please subscribe and stay tuned for when I upload. I also stream on Twitch, that's at Stealth4MR. And alright, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Goodbye.